All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you a quick tip on how to get the UART cable into one of the boxes for the SIO control boards and enclosures that I offer on Tindy. Anyway, you would get one of these with a kit. You'd either get the STL or you would get an actual enclosure if you ordered it already printed out. Um, it's not really difficult to do this, but I thought I would show you to make sure that you have an easy time of it. So what I have up on the screen here at the moment, on video here is a typical enclosure where I have the entry point for the cable. So this is the inside, of course, outside. So you can see there's kind of a little bit of a dimple or protrusion on the outside. And then, of course, on the inside, there's a little bit of a bridge there that kind of supports it. And the reason for that little bridge is so that you can't really see it too well, but there's a little bit of a slot underneath it, right? And the lighting is kind of really awful, but that slot is there, and I'll get better with my videos as I go. Um, but it's so that you can take a tie wrap such as this one, which also comes in the kit, and it can be slipped through like that, and you can kind of see it underneath there. But the real power of it is that it cinches down on the top of the cable once it's in there. And so let's go ahead and put that cable in, and I'll show you the easy way to do it. So again, not really difficult. I think anybody would figure it out after just a moment. But of course, you can't just stick them all in there. That's not going to work. You really do have to stick them in one at a time, and it can be a little bit tricky if you're you know not someone that does this kind of stuff all the time. Um, so basically, you stick that first one through, right, and you kind of grab it, and just as it comes through, you just kind of turn it off to the side here, right? Try not to like put too much pressure on it, but you can pull it off to the side there just like that, right? And then of course you'll notice that I didn't really bring a lot of cable on the inside. It still has quite a bit out here, and that's really important because you need room to move the next one. You can see I'm kind of bending this back, and you really need that. So you're just going to slide that next one through, right? And then we'll pull that one over, right? And I'll get my big fingers out of the way so you can kind of see the two together. We'll take that next one, right? And we'll stick that through, right? And it'll get a little bit tighter as you go through each one, but you can get them all in there without any real troubles. Just again, just kind of pull them off to the side there, and then just pull that cable to the side some and go through it. The order that you do them in is not important in any way, shape, or form, of course, right? And just there we go. We got the last one through. You can just push through each one, and then you push your cable through the rest of the way. So now this box that we're looking at is actually for the 4 relay board, with the ESP32 on it. So one of the things I'm going to suggest is that you make sure you give yourself enough cable, right? And each box is a little bit different, but make sure that you put the board in there before you actually put that tie wrap on. And in this case, this is our board here, right? And this box that I have here actually is one of the earlier prototypes that I just kind of keep lying around here. But it's nice because I can go in and out pretty easy. The ones that you'll get with the kit really hold the board a bit better. That way, if you turn the board, the enclosure upside down or something, it's not rattling around in there. There are some dimples off to the side around the enclosure that hold it in place. And I found that to be a really good way to keep the board in. But the downside is that once you get that board in there, it's a little bit difficult to get it out. So be aware that make sure you do your soldering and stuff, and then get your board in there. And then of course don't cinch off the tie wrap for your cable until you of course know how much line you need in here. Now for this board, typically I would pull it all the way across, even a little bit further than the board, but that's pretty much what you need because you're going to connect it to here, right? So you just need a little bit more than what you would, right? And you can just kind of plug it in along those lines. And interestingly enough, take a look at the documentation that I send along with any of the kits. And also, I think I have some images on, in GitHub that show how these things get plugged in, and follow those directions. You can pretty much do a color code and put it in, but they go in one right after another. Pretty easy stuff. But that's pretty much it. And again, just to show like how easy it is to get this tie wrap in here, you do this, right? And of course you got to catch it on the other side, but you can just kind of you put it through right? And the idea is to really, kind of be able to cinch that off there really, really tight, so that then you have like a strain release. So anytime that maybe you might pull on this, or who knows, you carry it around by the cable, don't do that. But if you do, at least you have something rather than have it, putting stress on the DuPont connectors that are, plugged in over here. You don't want that to be the only way they're staying in there. Eventually, you'll wiggle one loose, and then you'll wonder what's going on. So anyway, there you have it. Hope you have good success with it.